Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And this evening, we'll be talking about, first and foremost, we're going to get into the cigar. Let's get into the cigar. Really good night tonight. The power's on, the heat is on. Texas is back to its normal self. There was a lot of traffic. But anyway, let's get into this particular cigar here. This is an Abe Flores Serie Privada, okay? Abe Flores Serie Privada. This is light to medium build. It has a Maduro wrap on it. You have some sweetness to the cigar as well as some spice. Now, because of the spice in this particular cigar, what I've done is I've paired it with Kraken, a black spice rum. This is called the Kraken, the black spice rum. That's right, Kraken, the Kraken black spice rum. Very good mix, I can tell you already, very good mix. But as I smell it, oh man, that's a really good aroma of like chocolate almost, like a chocolate smell as well as some earth tones in there. But nonetheless, a really medium body smoking cigar. Is out of Nicaragua and it's essentially a Habano. But this particular one is out of Dominican Republic. And it's the 1975 Serie Privada. Okay, for you guys out there want to get some smooth medium build cigars, this is absolutely delicious. Chocolate flavor again, and for those ladies who's looking into it. And I'm using a V-cut here in order to cut my cigar for smoking. All right. I didn't do such a good job. I like it right in the middle, as you can tell. Let me turn it over there. There you go. And what I like to do to kind of get the aroma of the burnt scent of the cigar as it's burning is I burn just the head here. That's it. Quick second or two. Real mild, mellow, earthy. I didn't smell the chocolate there, just the earthy part. Okay. And after that, I'm going to go ahead and light it for you guys so we can get into the conversation. When you spend more than you make, we're about to get into the conversation here. As I'm lighting this medium body, earth chocolate spice note cigar, Abe Flores 1975 Serie Privada with Kraken black spice rum. All right, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody out there, the number one problem you have in your life is that you spend more than you earn. Consistently spending more than you earn is an easy way to accumulate debt. To stay out of debt, you'll either need to find a way to earn more money or spend less. Let me say that again. Consistently spending more than you earn is an easier way to accumulate debt. To stay out of debt, you need to find a way to earn more money or spend less. It's really that simple. Good evening, everyone. Let's get into it. There we go. So here's a lot of questions in your journey of spending less and trying to earn more rather than earning less and spending more. The number one question that I see a lot, even myself sometimes, we kind of get into a groove where we're saving a lot of money and then we're eating out a lot. Do you eat out a lot is the question. If you so, I can promise you that's one of the main culprits of you spending more than you earn. And I know I have a quick and easy answer for you. If you're trying to save money, because you eat out a lot than cook meals at home. It's really that simple. Here's another one, because we know people love their coffee. People love their different types of coffee from Starbucks and folks. I don't know, right? But if you buy coffee on your way to work each day, then bring your coffee with you. Well, I don't make it like Starbucks. I don't make it like Seattle's Best. Then here's the thing. I promise you, if you went out and bought some sort of extravagant apparatus in order for you to fix your coffee, right? Say it costs you $200-$300. I want you to do the math of you getting coffee Monday through Friday, 52 weeks of the year. I promise you, you would have already paid for 4 to 5 of those apparatuses to make your Nespresso or your espresso, right? You have the Nespresso with a little bit of milk, then you have the espresso with just plain by coffee. But nonetheless, you'll be spending all of that money simply because you don't want to take a couple of minutes out of your day and bring your coffee from home with you. Here's another one. Do you spend a lot of money on your cell phone? Is there a possible way for you to get a cheaper plan? Or could you cut back on your cable or your satellite? These are all valuable options that you can do, ladies and gentlemen. The willing is, what are you willing to sacrifice? Time and time again, we look at people, what they have and what they have obtained, but we don't want to go what they went through in order to be where they are or to get what they have. We're not willing to do that. We're not willing to sacrifice. We're not willing to forego, because majority of Americans, if not all in some way, form, or fashion, is in high debt. And it's mostly because you're spending more than you make. Take, for instance, me and my buddy, we were talking about cars tonight, but I'm gonna make an example out of that whole situation. What if you went out and you make 60 grand a year, right? You make 60 grand a year. That's $5,000 a month, right? So you make 60 grand a year, and you go out and you say, now that I'm making good money, let me go out and buy me a Mercedes. Let me go out and buy me a BMW. Let's just take, for instance, you can get a BMW for 45 grand. So 35 to 45 grand, that's the low end, but most people are going to buy a BMW, you're going to spend around 50 grand. Why in the hell would you buy a car that's $10,000 than what you make less a year, and you haven't even factored on it? It's not like you're going to save all your money. Think about this. It's not like you're going to save all your $60,000 because you have what? You have credit card bills, you have student loans, you have groceries, utilities, rent, and or mortgage. So you can't save that entire 60 grand to pay off that $50,000 vehicle. So essentially, you're already spending more than what you actually earn. See, here's the thing. If you're making $60,000 a year, then you probably need a car that's around 20 grand. I'm just keeping it real. Here's some of you people who just love to drive. That's spending a lot of money. Gas is going back up. Guess what? Spend less. Spend less. So you're saying, well, what some other things can I do and actually to save money? How can I recoup some of my money? I got you. You know, a lot of things that we get people to do. How about do it yourself? There's a lot of things, even myself, I do this. I'm not going to lie to you, that I get people to do that I can do myself. Some days my military shoulders are good, and some days they're bad. I already talked about eating out less. And the one thing we don't want to do, because we're kind of essentially the term keeping up with the Joneses, that is what we want to do. But you know what we want to do? We don't want to shop smarter. Like me, I'm going to a discounted clothing store like Gap, and I am still going to the clearance section. I'm still going to the clearance section. You get what I'm trying to say? So when you spend more than you earn, you're a fool. That's just what it is. Because we take into account what we make a month, but we don't take into account what we make a year versus the amount of expenses that come out of our pocket each and every year. Each and every year. Now, I know nobody's going to do this. You ever thought about getting rid of your car and catching Uber everywhere, especially if you're working from home? Hey, man, it's just an idea. And here's another one. We are in this generation, so to speak, we're in this generation of just using our credit cards for everything. But we're not using the credit card sensibly. Like, I use my credit cards. I want the reward points for flights. I want the reward points for Gap. I have a Gap card. So I'm going to spend anywhere from $100 and get $20 back sometime, just depending. And then with my military discount, that's even more discounted. So I'm getting all of these clothes for a very discounted price. So essentially, if I'm paying that card off before the 30-day cycle, then I'm absolutely using my credit cards very intelligently. These are the things that you have to think about. These are the things that you have to think about. Okay? Let's see here. We got our boy Sean in the room. He says, just like you are saying, people have to put things on a scale of preference. Okay. Very, very intelligently said. What else can we get into here? What about this? Some people say, spending more than you earn, spending more than you make. Spending more than you make is enabling by spending money you don't have. Spending money you don't have, or money that you yet have earned. Money you have yet to earn. You spend money, you don't have it by using credit cards and taking out loans and payday loans and cash advantages and overdrawing your account. See, some of the largest interest rates in the world are credit cards. And do you know, so people can have hard-earned cash versus using the credit, they rather go to the ATM and do a cash out from their credit card. That cash out is anywhere from 15 to 25%. And you're not going to pay off that card within 30 days. So now you have that balance being carried over and then multiplied by 0.15, 0.25%. But since it's on your credit card, you don't give two fucks about it. I was trying to refrain myself from cursing, but I just couldn't do it because you're not connecting the dots. And this is why you're looking at all this social media. People are flashing money. People are flaunting money. People are wearing expensive clothing. They're showing money, and you want that same lifestyle. The question is, there's a few questions, as a matter of fact. Are you willing to do what they have done in order to be where they are? First question. The other second question, do you really want to know what they did? Do you really want to know what they did to be where they are? When I look at both women and men, the question is, how did we become so broke? How did women become so broke? How did men become so broke? And the purpose, or the reason rather, is essentially predicated upon what you intake inside your spirit and soul. What do you value? Do you value materialistic things, or do you value a house? Would you rather look good or be good? That's a difference. Would you rather look good or be good? I'm going to tell you the difference. I'm going to let you map this out in your head. Looking good is whatever outfit you always wanted to wear. You wear Louis Vuitton, you wanted to wear Gucci, you want to wear Balenciagos, you want to wear Yeezys, whatever the case may be. You whatever outfit, doesn't matter how much. You wearing a Tom Ford suit, you wearing a Gucci suit, don't matter. Okay, so now you got the clothes. So you looking good, okay? According to your, outlook and perspective, you're looking good. But now you coming out of a 1-bedroom apartment in the hood. You coming out a 2-bedroom apartment, and you got 6 people living in the projects. So the question is, yeah, you look good, but are you good? But then you see the guy with a button-up shirt. You see the girl with a nice little dress on. But she don't have all the name brand. Like me. I got on Gap sweatpants, and I got on a $10 shirt that I got from On Base a couple of years ago. So essentially my whole outfit is, I don't know, $30, maybe, $25. And then somebody said, yeah, man, I got more, the worth of my clothes is more than everything you got on, or my shoes. I'm like, yeah, your shoes are Yeezy. That's $900. But let me see your bank account. Let me see where you live. And when you jumping out of your Caprice, when you jumping out of your 1998 Impala, and you living in a 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment with 4 kids, your girlfriend or your boyfriend and or your wife, even at that age, then I say, well, you look good, but you're not living good. You're not actually good. You have no equity in that apartment. You have no equity in that trailer. I have equity in my home. So we need to start understanding what we see on TV, what we glamorize from social media. It's essentially not going to help you in your walk, in your work, in your sacrifice of being financially free. Because the problem we have in this country is that we spend more than we earn. Credit cards, loans, payday loans, cash advantages, overdrawing your account. These are the issues. What happens when you spend too much money? What happens? All your goals and ambitions run out. The problem is you never focus on your debt, and you sure damn well don't focus on your savings. It's like money is just leaking out of your account. Money is just leaking out of your bank account. Thank you, Jerome. Jerome says people want instant gratification. I concur. Instead of investing in delayed gratification, they invest in instant gratification. And that's why you have instant debt. You're not in debt because of your house. Dave Ramsey wouldn't say, Dave Ramsey believes any debt is bad debt, but some real estate investor would say, no, house debt is good debt. Because even in your house, as you are building up equity, you may still have a loan amount. So take, for instance, your house is $300,000 and you've been in the house 2, 3, 4 years and you never refinance. And through that 3, 4, 5 years, you have updated your kitchen. You have updated your bathroom. You have filled in holes in walls with your drywall. You have patched, you've trimmed. You have also painted. And say, for instance, your living room didn't have crown molding, so you put crown molding. So you made the house a little more luxury. You did some upgrades. It's up to date. You changed the faucet, etc. You now have more equity inside that home in 3 years. And now if you get your house appraised, then you're going to be looking at like, you know what? This house is worth more than what I'm paying it for. That's that built up equity. That is you sacrificing. That is you investing inside of your own home. But see, a lot of us, instead of investing money inside of our own home, we rather look good. And that is the issue that we run into. Here's another good way to save and another good way to alleviate some of your debt. Men, gentlemen, ladies, leave your credit cards at home. Leave your credit cards at home. The day prior, you're going shopping. You said, I'm not going to spend no more than $100 shopping. I'm not going to spend no more than $200 shopping. So the day prior, you take out yourself $200. $200, and guess what? You leave all your cards at home. Now you can't go over the limit. Now you can't go over the budget that you set for yourself. But there's some strategies I'm going to give you guys that I think that could help you out changing your bad habits of spending more than you earn. And strategies, if followed, they do very, very well. Strategies, if followed, do very, very well. The number one thing you need right now with these strategies I'm about to go over to help you to spend less is discipline. That's all you need. This discipline. So here's another way to make more money. If you're spending less, then you go out and you earn more. Maybe you like your current job, but it's not paying you what you want to get paid. Then pick up a side hustle. It takes discipline. Have any of you guys ever heard of the 50-30-20 rule? The 50-30-20 rule. Now, this is a very, very simple way to budget that doesn't involve detailed budgeting categories. Instead, you spend 50% of what you get paid after taxes on your needs. 50% after taxes on your needs. What about this one? 30% on your wants. Yeah. 50% on your needs, 30% on your wants, and then 20% paying off your debts. This is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% after taxes, you're going to use that money on your needs. And you can't make your wants and needs, okay? I'm not going to break down to grown men and women what are wants and needs. You need water. You need food, but you don't need to eat out. You can buy your food and cook in. Even if I can't cook. Well, get some TV dinners. There's always a solution for your reason and or problem. Because some people got problems, but some people just got more excuses than they have solutions. $50% on your needs after taxes, 30% on your wants, and then 20% on your debt. Now, that was one strategy. I got another one for you. You might like this one. Now, this tragedy. This particular strategy is called the 7-20-10 rule. The 7-20-10 rule. You take your monthly take-home income, and divide it by 70, divided by 20, and divided by 10. 70% is for your monthly expenses, right? Anything you spend money on, 70% is for your monthly expenses. 20% goes into your savings. That's right. 20% goes into your saving, and then 10% goes towards your debt. Now, me personally, I like this rule a little bit better than the 50-30-20 rule. I like the 7-20 rule because you are saving some money, and we all know that we need an emergency fund. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Because I'm gonna break down a couple of things before I get out here tonight. I know I'm not gonna finish my cigar, but I'll finish it off camera. And again, ladies and gentlemen, before I give you these 10 steps, these 8 steps, these 10 steps on how you guys should go about your finances, let me just bring this to your attention again. This is a Abe Flores Serie Privada 1975 Nicaraguan cigar. It's wrapped in a Maduro leaf, and it has flavors of chocolate, earthy, spices, and some sweetness. Okay, but it's not a sweet cap cigar. And when I started off, I did a V cut here. really medium body smoking cigar. And I have paired this with black spice rum, also known as the Kraken. This pair, perfecto, okay? So, what are the 10 ways for you to stop spending more than you earn? What is 10 ways for you to stop living paycheck to paycheck? Get a budget. You've heard me time and time and time again for you to get a budget. All your expenses, all your accounts, all of your financial assets and debt, put that on your budget, and then rearrange your budget in order for your dreams, goals, and aspirations, and stop spending more than you earn trying to look like rap stars and entertainers. That's the issue. Here we are stunning in places where people are wearing expensive clothing, but we all living in the same projects. We all still living in the same hood, and then we robbing Peter to pay Paul. So you need to get a budget. This is how you get your life in order. This is how you get your life in order. You need a budget. Now you also need to take care of the 4 walls first. The 4 walls, as you see it, is your food, utilities, home, and transportation. Whether that be a Uber, public transportation, or your own personal vehicle. You need a budget, and then you need to take care of your food, utilities, and as well as your shelter and transportation, okay, your car. Then you have to make essentially a plan that you put together in order to stop living with debt. And I don't just mean house debt. I don't just mean car debt. Those are acceptable debts. Those are acceptable debts. But at the end of the day, you want to alleviate, you want to delete, you want to eradicate your debt. Now, the only debt I say that's probably good debt in a sense is real estate debt, is your home debt. And these are things that you could actually help you to be at a better position, because people use their own personal home as a sense of retaining and gaining more money once they sell it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please like, share, and subscribe for those who may need this information. A lot of you know there's men and women, family members that need this information that I'm giving them, and send it over to them so they can be informed and live a better life as well. Now, how about this? We all suffer from this, right? I mean, when I say all, I know it's very generalized. How about sell some of that stuff you got in your garage? How about sell some of that stuff you have in your closet? What about sell some of that stuff you haven't used in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you're still trying to justify why you're a hoarder? Yep, I said it. You are a hoarder. You're trying to justify why you need something that you've been holding on from anywhere from 2+ years. You haven't used it in 2 years, but you're still making excuses. Now, there's very few items that people need that they hold on for 2 years and haven't used it. Very few items, but there are some. But you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm referring to. So you need to get rid of some of that junk or some of the things that you have. And that could actually bring you in money because you put them up on Let It Go, OfferUp, eBay, you put it on Amazon, you can put it on Facebook, so you can sell it. And it can bring you in some extra cash. And we already talked about a side hustle. We talked about a side hustle. Everybody needs a side hustle. And here's the thing about, this is a great thing about side hustles. When I mean you always need a side hustle, like me, you might pick up a side hustle for 3 or 4 months, get some extra cash, and then you chill for a little bit. You know, you don't need to consistently have a side hustle. Then you'll be super busy. Oh man, I'm taking classes. I'm in this course. I work full time. I got to come home. That's why a side hustle is something you can pick up and set down. Pick up and set down. Brings in a little extra revenue. And then here's another thing. Some side hustles actually turn into full businesses for people, which actually helps them to bring in more income a year. Now, the next thing I'm about to say is very, very basic. It's very, very basic, and you already know it. Live below your means. Live below your means. Live below your means. So you have a 2018 Toyota Camry. That Camry does not need premium gas. You want to fly first class, but you don't have the cash for first class, so you want to throw it on your credit card. Live below your means and get your butt back in coach. Sometimes I can fly first class, and sometimes I have to fly coach. You want a nice white shirt, but you want to go to the expensive part of the mall versus going to maybe J.C. Penney's, maybe Dilla. Dilla's expensive. You can get some good shirts at Macy's. Live below your means. When you made extra money, you wanted to move to the great part of town that you're going to start spending $400, $500, $600 more for your rent and or so for a home, where if you just live in a good neighborhood. You got the bad neighborhood, then you got the okay neighborhood, and then you have the good neighborhood, then you have the great neighborhood. Live in a good neighborhood. Because this thing, if you lived in a bad neighborhood and then you jump to a good neighborhood, you're going to think it's paradise. But this is how you have to go about this. You have to live below your means. You might like Jordans, you might want Jordans, but you don't need Jordans. Go buy you some regular Nikes. Go buy you some Reeboks. Go buy you some Adidas. On sale, clearance. Go on these websites of theirs and look for discounts and deals. Live below your means. What about this? What about really paying through things that you can cut out? Paying through things that you can cut out. Maybe you can't always buy your family filet mignon or T-bone steaks. Maybe you have to get the shank steak or something like that. And I'm not, and I don't want to be funny with this because this is very serious. This is very serious information. Look out things to cut from your budget. If you're buying the best steaks, don't buy the best steaks. Because you're trying to cut back on your expenses because you already are spending more than you earn. Instead of taking a international fancy vacation, what about do something local? What about go to Canada? What about go to Alaska? Go to Mexico? You can still take a vacation. Maybe you want to go somewhere nationally or statewide that you can drive to. You have to look out for things to cut out. This is how you start saving, and this is how you start bringing more cash. You're bringing more cash back into your pocket. You're bringing more cash back into your savings account. You're bringing more cash back to investing. And I've said this, instead of putting everything on a credit card, I tell people this all the time. Make a savings fund. Like, hey, I want to go to Jamaica. So a year before Jamaica, you start saving. But the problem is we say, oh, I want to go to Jamaica, but you're trying to go to Jamaica in 2 or 3 months. But you don't have Jamaica money. You have a Jamaica credit card. That means you're going to pay with your credit card to go to Jamaica, and then you're going to be in great debt. And you're already at this moment in life, because you only make 60 grand, you're spending more than you earn and wondering why your credit card interest is so high and your bills are so high. What's going on, Justice? Good evening, Justice. Let's see here. Jerome says here, I had Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Video. I cut Netflix and Amazon out. It's the little things that add up. That is absolutely, positively correct. That's absolutely, positively correct. What number are we on? I believe we're on 9, right? Start an emergency fund. Just like you'll have a fund for a vacation, just like you'll have a fund for a trip, you have a fund, you want to buy a lawnmower, you want to buy a big 85-inch TV, make a fund for it. Stop throwing everything on your credit card. And I pay it off in installments. I pay it off monthly. See, this is what I do. I look at my bank account. I say, bank account, do I have enough money? The bank account says, yes, you have enough money. And what that question really means is I have enough money in my bank account to cover the item, to cover the fund that I want to buy. And then I'll use my credit card, cha-ching, get my points, get my rewards, and then pay it off with the cash I have in my account. That is what that means. Number 9. I know I wasn't counting before, but I know I'm on number 9. Start an emergency fund, as we stated before. And some of you, the pandemic threw off everything. I don't necessarily know how many months of an emergency fund. Start off with 3 months. People tell you anywhere from three to 6 months, but let's put out a goal that we can kind of fathom, a goal that we can essentially reach. So let's say 3 months. 3 months of all your expenses, what you pay for utilities, what you pay for rent and on mortgage, and what you pay for food, gas, insurance, card note, etc. Those essentials, not just food, not just gas, not just mortgage, because the emergency fund is for those emergency. And the reason why we like to use your house, the reason why I like to use your apartment of how much money you should essentially have is because what if a pandemic happens and you get laid off from your job? Ding! A pandemic happens. Now you don't have a job. Now you're waiting for these measly stimulus checks, $1,200, $600, $1,400. People expenses in America, okay, the average given median expenses is $2,500 a month. What the hell they think you're going to get out of, especially when your unemployment benefits run out? What they expect you're going to get out of with $12,000, and then they wait 9 months to give you $600, and then 2 to 3 months later they give you $1,400. I mean, yeah, they got the eviction moratorium, they got unemployment, but that runs out. So your landlord doesn't put you out, but you still owe 4 or 5 months of rent. Because what I did not see is some sort of forgiveness rent or forgiveness eviction moratorium. You still have to pay that money off. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So you need an emergency fund. What I like to tell people, some of you are thinking about how much you should start off with. Start off what you have. If you got $100, throw it in your emergency fund. Do not spend it. Do not spend it at all unless it's a true emergency. Throw in $500. Throw in $1,000. Continue to build that emergency fund with the number of all your expenses. So if in case of emergency of any kind, you can still live your life the way you were living it. And a good goal to start off with is 3 months. That's the amount that I believe that you guys should start off with. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that emergency fund is just for emergencies. It's not for your vacation. It's not for your TV. It's not for your purse. It's not for your shoes. It's not for your kids' clothing. It's not for your kids' shoes, kids' games, kids' toys, whatever. It's not for anything else except for emergencies. Taking point, and I want to make this very, very, very clear. Taking point. Texas has had an unprecedented winter storm that essentially started Sunday night into early Monday morning And essentially it's over at this particular point. So it lasted for a solid 5 days. Some people say Tuesday. No, Monday there was snow on the ground. People was already losing power. There was already saying drip your sinks. And then slowly but surely it started to get worse before it started to get better. And I heard still in some parts of Dallas, still in some parts of Houston, they're having power outages. They're having water complications. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. These people were sleeping in their cars. Some of them actually died because they were sleeping in a garage with the engines running. Another family brought in, those people perished, unfortunately. I don't think they were informed because nobody's going to commit suicide. I wouldn't think they were going to commit suicide. Then there was this younger guy. He was around 22, 23 years of age. It was him, his wife, and a 4-year-old. And he bought the generator inside for heat. He had some sort of generator that he was using, but he brought it inside for heat. So the carbon monoxide buildup inside the home made them very tired. So they all passed out. So some time had went past. A friend of theirs came past, and he knew they were home. So he somehow entered the home, and he saw pulling them outside of the home. Well, the wife and the young 4-year-old actually survived. But the 23-year-old guy who was trying to save his family, he didn't have the knowledge of the carbon monoxide, unfortunately died. Why am I telling you this? This is where the emergency fund is vital. This is where the emergency fund is life-saving, because it wasn't like we couldn't get outside our homes, because Texas only got 3 to 7 inches in some spaces. Because guess what all the rich people did? Guess what all the people who had money did? They went to go stay in a hotel. When I went to my cigar lounge, the guy said, yeah, man, we had some water issues. The power was rolling in and out. They didn't even have constant blackout like Houston and Dallas area, some areas. So, nah, man, we went to a hotel. Those people who were living in their cars, if they had the means to go to a hotel, they would have went. If my fiance would have told me, babe, it's 0 degrees in here, and the cold weather doesn't really bother us. We have all sorts of cold weather gear. I have a freaking snowboard right here hanging on the wall. I'm used to the cold. I got 3 or 4 different types of coats, 3 or 4 different types of boots. But I know that, I'm from Washington, D.C. She's from Colorado. So we're used to the cold. We have cold weather gear. But a lot of Texans do not have cold weather gear. But then again, if you got the money, you would have went to a hotel. So that tells me that these people did not have an emergency fund. And again, those people who died, my heart goes out to them, because there was a lack of information with some of these stories with the carbon monoxide. But then again, it's like we live in a society where it's instant gratification, where we don't want to sacrifice to put money in your emergency fund, put money in your emergency fund, put money in your emergency fund in order to save your own life when there is an emergency. No one expected the pandemic, and no one expected a freaking winter snowstorm in Texas. And that's when unpredictable things occur, and that's why you have an emergency fund, because guess what? It's a freaking emergency. Last but not least, what I know a lot of people really don't do, what I know a lot of people don't do, they don't start thinking about the future. Why are you not putting a little bit of money away? Do you have constant money coming in? Do you have constant money coming in that you're not working for? But if you stop working, does money come in? See, there's a lot of people that, okay, you have a pension. I can't really mess with those people. This company is sending me a check every month. I've been living 40 years and I'm getting this check. Okay. I would still to tell those people have emergency fund too, but I'm going to go ham on people who don't have pensions. I'm going to go ham on people who don't have 401ks and IRAs. I'm going ham. Because you're not thinking about the future. You might mess around. You might mess around and live to be 40 years of age. You might mess around and live to be 50 years of age. You might hit 60. You might hit 70. And what you're telling yourself, I'm just going to keep on working to pay off my habit of having everything that I want, not everything that I need. That is the issue that we run into. Start thinking about the future. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, ladies and gentlemen, I do a stock review. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I give financial information videos as well as some political and social economic videos. But I'm highly encouraging you guys to start thinking about the future. Because if you think about the present, you're thinking about how you're going to go about surviving. But your biggest survival is when you can no longer work, when you are too elderly to work, when your bones are cricking, you have arthritis, and it takes you an hour, it takes you 15 minutes to get out of bed, whereas the one time you just jumped out of bed. You're not thinking about long term. And when you get to that particular point, the other question is, are you going to leave your kids some inheritance? Are you going to leave them something behind? Are you going to leave them a house behind? Are you going to leave them a trust fund behind? Are you going to at least leave them $5, $10, $25, $50,000 behind? Can you even leave your kids $5,000 behind? Do you have life insurance? Did you put a will in case you pass away that your 401k from your job goes to your children, so they can essentially have some sort of generational wealth? Have you put those things in place? That's the question should you be asking yourself. So I encourage you all to follow those 10 steps. Starting with number 10, start thinking about the future. Next, have an emergency fund. Next, have a fund for large purchases and vacations. Number 7, look for things to cut out of your budget so you don't have to spend no more money on them. Just like, who was it? Jerome, I believe. Jerome said, hey, I had, present tense, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Video. I cut Netflix and Amazon out. The only thing I have right now is Hulu, he's basically saying. So if he was spending $15, and if you break Amazon amount up, it's probably about $12 or $13, he already have saved $25, $30 for that entire month. You got to sacrifice, but you got to start looking for things to cut out. And the next one, you have to live below your means. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Stop looking at what everybody else have. Live below your means, not above, not at your means. Because if something occurs, you ain't gonna have any money, because you every dollar that you're making is going right back out. Then if you're living above your means, every dollar plus $2 more that you make are going out. Those $2 more is coming from your credit cards. Those $2 more coming from personal loans. Those $2 more coming from cash advances. And here's another thing. You have extra time. I don't care what nobody says. If you factor in all the TV time, all the social media time, all this extracurricular time, that maybe something you like to do that it really doesn't bring no value to you, get a temporary side hustle. Something you can pick up and pick down, something that's going to actually save you money. Then next, get rid of some of the junk. Get rid of some of the things that you no longer use. Things you haven't used in a year plus, 2 years plus. You're not using it. You don't need it. Does have all these things. I see people garages, right? I see people garages, and people automatically think that their garage is a storage facility for the stuff they no longer use. They no longer use it. They don't even know what's inside some of the boxes, and they can make money from this. You go on eBay, Amazon, Facebook, you go on Facebook Marketplace, you go on Let It Go, OfferUp. You can go to all of these entities to sell those things you no longer need and or want. But you just keep on storing it. While your car, your $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 car is sitting outside in the rain. It's sitting outside in the storm. Sitting out there without any barrier of security. Sell some of that stuff you have. You know, half of that stuff is junk. And some of you, men and women, some men are hoarders, some women are hoarders. And you're thinking about your significant other. You know she didn't use that thing in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know he don't even know what that particular item is, ladies. You have to take some pictures of that stuff and sell it. Do a garage sale. Take it to Goodwill. Get a tax write-off. Go to Habitat for Humanity. Then you always have to ensure that you're taking good care of your food, utilities, your vehicles, and your transportation. But starting from number one, the number one thing you need and you can't survive without is a budget. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys have a great night. I'm out.